Welcome to episode 4 of the Dan Cloutier community. I am thrilled to be with you today. This is a show where I get the privilege to interview amazing artists of all types as we dig into the idea that art builds community and that community can help this hurting and lonely world. I think it's pretty obvious that if you look around, we currently live in an age of distraction and isolation. The question is, what can we do about it, right? I always put my phone away when I get home from work to help me focus on what's really important and actually spend time with the people that I love instead of this thing. I recently found this app that I want to talk about. It's called Focus Friend, and this is what's been helping me out. The best part is that it's completely free. In the app, you have this bean friend, helps you stay off your devices by knitting socks. It's really silly, but it really works for me. I get home, start this thing. I'm with my family. I'm focused. I'm making art. I'm doing the thing. I just wanted to let you guys know about something that's been helpful to me. And I always want you to know that during this show, you have my full attention. Now, as I look at the world, I think one of the most important responses to these lonely times is human creativity and connection. Not only does art make the world a better place, but I believe that each of us is an artist with a distinct voice that needs to be heard. That's right, you are an artist. Art is also so many different things, right? It could be designing buildings, planting flowers, singing to your baby, making jewelry, editing videos like my good friends at HCAM, and so much more. So right now, HCAM, people are working really hard here making art for me. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, HCAM. Today on the show, we have an important voice in the New England music community. His name is Jesse Humphrey. Jesse is a brilliant songwriter, the man behind the awesome podcast called After the Gig, and he's the drummer in the nationally touring band Carbon Leaf, which is awesome. I'm thrilled to have the chance to talk to Jesse while he's at home from the road. Let's go talk to a real working musician and let's build a community. Jesse, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the show. I'm thrilled to have you.
Very happy to be here.
All right, so this is fun because I heard about Jesse from Dave, one of the volunteers who comes here to HCAM. He's a huge fan of you, your own songs, the band that you're in, and I just think it's really cool that this connection that I made from this show brought you here, and that's kind of what I want this show to all be about, just bringing different artists in who have different stories. Jesse is a touring musician, a great songwriter, podcaster. We're going to get on to that, but I want to start with the first question is, like, when did music start meaning something important to you?
How early do you want to get?
I want to get early. I want to hear about that because I think it's important to, like, I love the idea of, like, when I was a kid, I sang a bunch in church when I was like a kid, and that was kind of the important thing. I eventually got into the grunge rock scene, right?
Yeah.
That was my trajectory. But, like, what is your trajectory? Like, what got you going?
I started really early. So when I was, I guess when I was in like kindergarten or first grade, I was very interested in music and instruments. I was always singing, and my dad would be able to like quiz me on who was on the radio, and I could tell him like that's Ozzy Osbourne and that's so and so, and he was always super into music. My parents were always super supportive, but my uncle, who's a very close family friend, we all have those uncles and aunts and stuff. Yeah. But my uncle Jeff was a professional drummer, recording artist, had a band back in the 70s, kind of prog rocky kind of thing. And I would play to his records. I would just go downstairs, and we got this drum set that you couldn't set up. There was no hardware. So I had like milk crates. I had a kick drum and a snare drum on a milk crate. I would sit on the other milk crate, and I would practice like drum rolls and stuff.
Well, if you're playing to prog rock, you're not. That's a good way to start.
I know.
Signatures. Yeah. Learning those time signatures early has to be a huge benefit.
Yeah, I mean, you hear something, and you could talk more about this. I'm more of a feel based player, so like I learn things by hearing it and visualization and stuff. I'm not the mathematician type drummer that is like, hey, you can do this 5/7 thing here. I'm not that kind of. I can do some of those things, but I don't think of music that way. It might come into like the songwriting aspect of me personally as a musician, but I never really took to the prog time stuff. Most of my stuff was in 4, 3, and it's just like, it's pretty simple. But my earliest stuff was just practicing little drum rolls and having my dad show me what he knew how to do on the drums, and then listening to my uncle's stuff and just playing constantly. I just always wanted to be in the
So
basement
from kindergarten, playing the drums all day long.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that.
I had, we would buy little pieces of a drum kit as time would go on, as my parents could afford it. Like, I had the kick drum, and then they could get me a hi-hat, and then eventually a full drum kit. And I had one in 5th grade, and I just couldn't stop playing it.
So after 5th grade, so when did you, because drummers are in high demand. Like I'm a guitar player, and I grew up always looking for drummers because there are less of them, right?
Yeah.
So you must have been playing in bands in high school and stuff like that?
Yep. High school, I had a band, and I was like kind of the ringleader for my band because I was hanging out with all the older kids that had bands. So Stevie Aiello, who plays guitar in 30 Seconds to Mars, went to my high school, and he had a band called Monty R.I.
Yep.
And like I was out hanging out with those guys, and
cool.
My friend Dan Mills, who's a prolific songwriter, who's coming out with a record this Friday, is I played drums in his band, and he had a band back then, and I'm always just trying to I was always the young one trying to play and hang out with the older kids, So I started my own band, and we played, and I had a hard time getting out of the basement. I always wanted to practice and make it just right so we could play a show. So I was like, that was a little bit of a hindrance.
That's pretty natural though, right?
Yeah,
I think that's a healthy thing for kids to go through, the fear. But so when did you start gigging out more?
I'd say college, when I started going to college and playing in Boston and stuff. And I joined a band there that played very often. It was a band called Love in Stockholm, and we played all around, and guys from BU, and that was basically my job from 2007 to 2014 when the band eventually broke up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But so importantly, you're from Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
So when he came in, he said he was from Rhode Island, and then he said he had a Pawtucket Red Sox hat in the car. So I just want to show off. My mom's from Pawtucket, so that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
So you're in this band. You went to Berkeley. When did you go to Berkeley?
Between 2007 and 2011 is when I left Berkeley.
You're in Berkeley,
mm-hmm.
this prestigious school. You're in a band that's touring around. What did you learn from that time of your life, that brought you to where you are now? Because now you're in a bigger band that's touring around.
Sure.
And you're doing your own podcast and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're in your early 20s, you're not, or at least I wasn't too focused on learning at that point. So I was in a new city. I was living on my own. So there was a lot of making new friends and, what are we doing on the weekends? Where can we play? Where can we find gigs? How can we make our own party? We were running parties with a DJ and stuff and traveling around, and we made it kind of like a little business. But that was cool and important to me. And then the second year, once you're like, oh no, I need to figure out what I'm doing here, I really grabbed hold of my teacher, Tony Smith, who was Lou Reed's drummer. And I just loved everything that he stood for in music. He was so positive, that energy. And I just tried to hang on when I was at Berkeley because there were so many good people around me, but I was so overwhelmed by where I was and how great the players were, where it was difficult to make friends because I love sports and I love balance in my life, and I'm not an all-in music guy. I never was, and I think it's healthy to be that way.
Yeah, I do too.
And other musicians that are at school, or it's kind of like a theater kid kind of thing, where if you're not all in and you're not singing in the hallways and you're not whatever, they don't like you. Not that they don't like you. It's just they don't accept you in the same way.
You're not in the in crowd of that,
right?
Because you don't think you're taking it seriously, but you're taking it as seriously as actually you should be.
Yeah,
right. Because art really has a really important part of all of our lives, right?
Right.
But there's also a point that art can become the thing that dominates over you, and that becomes a really unhealthy thing. I know. I have a lot of friends who Berkeley and
Yeah.
did that road. And it's a hard road in that
Yeah.
sense. If you don't have the right, I mean, people who have friends, if you have the right group of friends, then I think you can make it
Yep.
and live a good life. But it's hard when competition gets in the midst of art. I
Yeah.
always find that a difficult thing. Like, how can you deal with art, which is supposed to be this thing that you're expressing yourself, you're excited about, right? And then all of a sudden it becomes a job,
Right.
And it becomes this thing that you're competing against other thing.
Right. And then you find yourself in the situation where you're like, I'm working so hard at this half credit course where I can't like exist outside of school, and I'm having a really hard time. So I ended up seeing a school therapist at Berkeley and talking to them for a little bit, and my cousin went through a thing, kind of like a a little bit of a mental break, and it was then where I actually discovered the kind of like the back end love for music, like the this is really important. This isn't just notes on a page and people singing songs.
Yeah.
There's something attached to this that means more to people than anything else. Because I went to visit my cousin and I brought a guitar, and he was having a really tough time, and he took the guitar and sang a song and just broke down, and just like it was, and witnessing that just made music mean a different thing to me in that moment.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story. So my most recent album is an album called The Iceberg that I made, and it's the mental health image that you can only see what's on top. You don't see what people are struggling underneath, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I wrote it after my dad passed away, and a loved one went through a very serious mental health issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for about a year, music was kind of gone because it was like you're just dealing with the wreckage of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it came back, it meant more than it ever meant before, because you can feel it also like, oh, art is a gift to us, right?
Yeah.
It's not just something, it's not the thing that's making us famous, it's not the thing that we're pursuing for status. It's the thing that actually is sometimes that you're leaning on in your darkest moments,
Yeah. And for someone that is like, for someone that went to Berkeley that was around all these technically great musicians, it's a really nice thing to know that you don't have to be that technician to be admitted into the club. Like there's so much more to it, to what the art form and the music actually means to yourself and to other people, where you don't need to think about keeping up with the Joneses as keeping up with the other musicians. You want to practice, and like Jason Anick said in my last podcast, you want to continue to raise your floor where you can go into a situation and be able to hang like that. But you also, your job is to make a connection with people and to let yourself out there in your songs and to create a work of art.
Create a work of art and bring people together and bring communities together. And because I grew up as a songwriter, it was always my number one focus. Like junior high, I started writing songs. Mm-hmm. And there's some great songwriters that have come out of Berkeley, but in the Boston scene, I've always tended to just like the songwriters who were kind of just like the more novice musicians.
Sure.
Who were able to bring their stories together, which is so interesting about your story, Jesse, because as I've gotten to know about your own music and your own art, like your song Chemical, which I think we're going to have you play in a couple minutes, is just a beautiful reflection, I think probably on some kind of mental health issue, right?
Yeah, well, it's mostly it mostly came out of the pandemic and seeing people, essential employees and stuff just working their tail off and getting the bare minimum, only being able to take care of what, like, the bare minimum, and not be able to excel and like go on a vacation or like go and get an extra pair of shoes for their kid or something like that. So I just took that struggle and just empathized with it. I'm a very lucky person. Like, I have a beautiful wife and a child, and we do all right. But like to see to see just like the upswing, and everyone's either an Uber driver or a delivery driver or something like that, and they're stuck in this spot and they just can't get out of it. It kind of hit me in an interesting way, and it came out in a song.
Well, it's a beautiful song. But you were a drummer. So when did the songwriting and the guitar playing and all that like strike?
Wasn't a good guitar player. I'm still not a good guitar player, but I just I found it as an essential piece to be able to communicate songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I write a lot on the piano. I'm not a piano player either, but it's a good way to visualize music, and I just always did it. Like, I was always writing songs when I was at Berkeley. Before that, in high school, my band, I played rhythm guitar. You know, I was like, these are my songs. I should be playing. I should be up there singing. I'm not going to sing for behind the drum kit. So I got another kid to play the drums, and I got a guitar and an amp and sang the songs up front. We were horrible.
Well, I mean, like, horrible is interesting, like, in terms of the masses, but not horrible for what you needed at the moment.
It was so fun. It was great.
It's great. That's what
we had a blast. We had a blast.
It might have been horrible then, but your song "Chemical" is excellent.
Thanks.
It's like when I was getting ready for the pod, I put it on, and you know, I listened to it 5 times in a row. I'm like, this is a great song. This is like a song that you'd expect to hear on the radio, but maybe not, because it had that nice level of depths. And when the chorus kicks in, it kind of goes down. Like, anyways, I'm really into it.
Thanks, man.
So to be this drummer, to be able to put out a song. So what did that feel like? Was it nerve-wracking to be kind of that up front?
Yeah. I mean, the big issue for me over the years was just being surrounded by so many great songwriters. Because like I said, like, I grew up with all these people. I went to Berkeley. I knew people that were writing really great songs. Like, you know, somebody that when John Mayer came to the school, when I can't remember, it was like 2008 or 2009, right before he released Battle Studies. He came to the school and like took a couple of songwriters under his wing, and they got to record a couple of songs in the Berkeley studios. And it's like, I'm surrounded by this. I'm supposed to keep up with this. And songwriting, to a degree, is like building a muscle. So I was not doing the work, the amount of work I needed to do to be able to write a song that would stand up to these other ones that were being written around me. So I brought up my buddy Dan, for example, prolific songwriter, amazing songwriter. And then I'll bring up a side note. I'm super into photography, and I have 3 professional photography friends. And it's like, you see their work and then you compare it to your own, and that's the problem. It's like, you can't, no matter where you are, you have to start somewhere, and you can't compare yourself to other people. You have to just keep on improving. And I struggled with that for so long. That's why, first of all, I only have 1 song out. And second of all, it took until 2023 to release it. Yeah. But I'm so glad I did.
It's got a lot of streams.
Yeah, it's great. You know, I think it's like, you know, in the 15,000 stream mark, which for an artist with 1 song on Spotify, I think I've maybe earned $70 from that, and that's tough, which is amazing. But the thing is, I love music production. I love writing. I recorded the entire thing in my aunt's dining room.
The whole thing. So are you playing all the parts?
Everything. Except for the keys. The keys and the keyboard solo is done by Ty Bailey, who plays in Mitski's band, who's played for Katy Perry and Joss Stone, and he's a monster. He's a monster, and he plays with Carbon Leaf from time to time. But
did you mix it and produce it too?
Yep, everything.
It's really great.
Yep, mixed, recorded, produced it. I didn't master it. That's the only thing I didn't do. And it's like, mastering is so weird.
Oh yeah, we could get
It's
every
so
album
weird.
that I have mastered is like, okay.
First of all, it's like, I don't know who to send it to. It's this magical thing that costs a bunch of money.
that you definitely hear the difference when it's done, though.
Oh yeah,
doing a good job.
Yeah, it makes it great. But it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing with this magic? You know, this magic gear that spreads everything out and makes it all sound lush and glued together and wonderful. And it's great.
Speaking of some magic, though, I think it's time that we hear a couple of songs.
Should we do it?
Talking about. Let's do it.
All right, great.
Song's called Chemical. Disappointed in the way that I've been thinking. Disappointed and I can't find a way out. I'm just out here trying to make a living. I'm just out here working it out. I've been making do with what I'm given. I've been making it up as I go. I'm just out here, I'm watching what I'm saying. I'm just out here, doing what I'm told. I do a lot, never enough. What we need is all we have. Take a chance and leave it alone. What I need is a chemical. What I need is a chemical. What I need. I've been here, standing at a distance. I've been here, watching things unfold. I wake up every day, looking in the mirror. And every day, I'm tired of getting old. I do a lot, never enough. What we need is all we have. Take a chance. Leave it alone. What I need is a chemical. What I need is a chemical. What I need. I do a lot, never enough. What we need is all we have. Take a chance and leave it alone. What I need is a chemical. What I need is a chemical. What I need. I do a lot, never enough. What we need is all we have.
Thank you. And this next song is called Better Man.
Papa says you ain't living enough. I hope that you ain't giving up. I wish that I was a better man. Said I wish that I was a better man. And I don't wanna be found. Gonna hop on the bus and get out of town. She said, don't you come around too late again. 'Cause this love is a good thing. Woman says, boy, you're dreaming too big. I think you better settle down a little bit. My lady told me, boy, you're treating me wrong. So I put my head down and walked on. When I don't want to be found, gonna hop on a bus and get out of town. Said, don't you come around too late again. 'Cause this love is a good thing. Mama says you better try some more. You ain't never found what you're looking for. So I threw my bags into the ocean blue. Said, look out, world, I'm not afraid of you. But I don't wanna be found. Gonna hop on a bus and get out of town. She said, don't you come around too late again. 'Cause this love is a good thing. This love is a good thing.
Thank you.
Jesse, fantastic songs.
Thanks, man.
So good to hear them.
Yeah.
You should put that the Better Man song out there in the world. Are you doing any recording? Like, what's your plan with that?
Yeah, so I'm thinking about doing a similar thing that I did in 2023. Said you can't get out of this year without releasing some more music. So I've been writing, but it's been between the Olympics and the hockey season and everything. It's
And
been
a wife and a kid.
and all the snow that we've had recently. It's
Yeah.
been tough to get down into the office and just turn off the phone and just sit there in some silence and be able to do the thing. So, but yeah, I think this year I have a couple of sketches that I'm working on as far as songs are concerned, and hopefully that they're out there in the world before December 31st.
That's awesome, Michael. I can't wait to hear it because Chemical is fantastic. Again, everyone go listen to that. So let's move on to where you are now, because since 2017, you've been the drummer of like a pretty big nationally touring band called Carbon Leaf. And so tell me how that started. Like, what is the story of you becoming the drummer of a band that's been doing it for so long?
Yeah, so originally I was playing drums for a singer-songwriter named Stephen Kellogg.
Yeah. Yep.
So I was playing.
Great singer-songwriter. He's great.
Yeah. So I was playing with him after his hiatus tour with the Sixers. Like was his band, and they broke up or they went on hiatus, and then Steven was doing the solo thing for a bit, and then wanted another band, still releasing music. So I was his drummer for a couple years. Maybe 2 or 3 years, something like that. And
Was that just through a connection? Did you know Steven specifically?
that was through Dan Mills's keyboard player Adam, who was teaching Steven's girls how to play piano. So this is also a lesson, and everyone knows someone, and networking is very important. And you want
It
to,
is. I mean, every
yeah.
success that I've had in music is all through networking.
Yeah.
So like, I always tell people like, it's great to play in your basement, right?
Yeah.
It's great to write songs in your bedroom, right?
Yeah.
But you eventually need to get out there and meet people.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Follow
'Cause
up with them.
The story could be that you eventually leads you to an important gig, right? Or important place.
Which it did.
But it could just be like making great friends. Like I ran open mics for like 15 years. One for Framingham for 13, and I was hosting at the Burr, and right
cool.
before COVID shut it down, which is a story.
Yeah.
But like when I reflect back on those things, I think the reason why that was the most important thing I've ever done musically is because I made I have tons of friends.
Yeah. No, it's great.
This kind of people thing.
It's great, and if you're playing a lot and collaborating a lot, you're going to make a lot of friends, which is awesome. But where were we?
Stephen Kellogg.
Stephen Kellogg, yeah. So when I was playing with Stephen, similar situation. So he did a tour, and his front of house sound guy for the tour was Carbon Leaf's front of house sound guy. So he was just doing this tour as a temporary thing, and we got to be really good buddies. His name is Doug Ross. He is now off the road, has a family, and still does work for Carbon Leaf, but he's a wonderful human being, one of my favorite people in the world. And I was kind of ready to move on and do something else. And then I was eventually on the rock boat with Steven on that tour.
I wanted to ask you, so you've done some of those cruises? Those cruises fascinate me.
I've done like 8 of them. they're amazing.
Are they amazing? They have to be so much fun.
They're great.
Especially
They're
as
great.
like a band, because you're just like, you get up and you play, then the whole rest of the time you're just like on vacation.
Yeah, I mean,
Kind of, except you're working.
the rock boat is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So you are, for a band like ours, who's kind of connected to the bands that have been on it for a long time, we are constantly sitting in with other bands, doing, you have to learn a bunch of covers because they want to do these like 80s nights and 90s nights or like whatever. Recently we did a Queen and Prince night, so everyone had to learn either a Queen or a Prince song.
Not easy.
No, and it was amazing. It's a similar thing. It's like you're on the boat with a lot of like monsters, and they're really great. And actually, Prince's actual guitar was on the boat.
Like the one that's all fancy.
Not that one. So it was a Telecaster.
Okay.
So you know the video where he's playing at George Harrison's.
Yeah, the While My Guitar. Yeah.
While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
So that guitar.
That's
cool.
guitar.
That's cool.
I got to touch that guitar.
It's very cool.
Unbelievable.
Very cool.
So
But like so you're on the cruise boat. So one of the things about when I talk to my friends who are doing music professionally, because someone like me, it's like I play like 2 or 3 gigs a month. If I'm really hitting it hard, but never more than that. So every gig still has this level of like I can be pretty excited about. But when you're doing daily gigs for like 2 months in a row, it's work.
Yeah. Well, it's work to stay healthy and like you said, keep excited about where you are.
Right. You show up in Toledo though, right? And people are like, are you so excited to be in Toledo? Like, man, yeah. You have to say yes, but you're probably, because I actually really like Toledo.
It's like, I am excited for this 2 hours of music I get to play in Toledo for the people that show up. And then that's an honest thing, because you have to realize every time I start to get down about what I'm doing or feel a little bad about it, I have to remember that someone would literally like throw me off a building to be able to do what I'm doing.
What you're doing, yeah.
And I'm like, you have to remember that. But obviously it's all relative and stuff like that.
But in the midst of that truth that you're doing this thing that's really great, it doesn't stop life from being hard. Right.
So, of course.
So what like how do you protect yourself, especially on the road? Like how do you protect yourself when things get hard, or like you're going through a tough season of life, or your own mental health is hard, Like, what's going on?
For example, so this past fall tour that we do, a big fall tour every year, was a fantastic tour. And I learned a ton of lessons from the previous tour, which was not a fantastic tour for me because I was really stressed about I just wanted to be home, and I was maybe drinking a bit more than I should have been, and I was very down a lot of the time. And if there's like one little seedling of something's bugging you, then it can grow if it's not dealt with. And I just wasn't dealing with some things that I should have been, and it got really, really bad. And I remember sitting in the green room of the Bluebird Theater in Denver, just like, arguing with my best friend, John, about something stupid. And just, I broke down, and I was just like, I want to go home. Like, I just don't know if I want to be here or out here. And then, and a few days went by, and I was just like, I gotta like break whatever cycle I'm in right now, because I don't know what's going on. I don't feel great. And after that tour, I was just like, all right, I love doing this. I'm stressed out. I'm pulled in a lot of different directions. I'm doing a bit too much. I need to pare it down and focus on one thing. And I need to remember, like, don't take these things too seriously. Like, go back to how you felt at Berkeley. Like, I'm here because I love music. I love doing this, and I want to get better at it. But like, I don't care about what someone thinks about how I do what I do. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I just want to be able to create and enjoy it and be happy with it and move on. You know what I mean? Like,
but the life of a touring drummer, there's that, because the tour is exhausting. Like, a few times that I've toured around for a little bit, exhausting, but the drummer has an exhausting job to begin with. Yeah. So the first week, you're like running like a marathon every night.
First week is a nightmare. I'm not a super physical drummer. So like at the end of the night, I'm sweaty, but I'm a big guy. I sweat anyway. So like I don't play crazy. So I'm not physically exhausted at the end of the night. But the first week is tough. It is, you're getting used to loading in and loading out and setting up. You're building your systems to make it faster every night.
Yeah.
And the more you do it, the easier it gets, the better you get. But like once you're in like week 2 or week 3, you're just like, I could be out here forever.
That's awesome.
Like I'm just like, I could play for another 2 months, and then week 4 comes and you're like, get me home now. So it's just like, it's a weird ebb and flow. Like it's like that every single time.
So how old is your kid now?
He's 5. He'll be 6 in April.
6 in April. So is it as he's getting? Is it he or she?
Yeah.
As he getting bigger, does the tours get harder?
Yeah, it gets harder to leave.
Yeah.
And this past tour that we did when we played on the Rock Boat, I was gone for 2.5 weeks, and one of those weeks was in the Bahamas, and we got hit with snow, and I probably shouldn't have posted that picture of me on a beach because my wife was kind of pissed about it.
That, yeah.
And I just, it's one of those things where it's like, you work hard, you get to enjoy the fruits of the labor, but it gets very hard. And I notice it in his demeanor and personality. Like when I'm about to leave, like, he's hugging daddy a lot more often.
Yeah.
And then when I get home, it's just like, I usually try to surprise him at school, to pick him up at school. And just to see, the look on his face, and like he's jumping and he runs at me, and like it makes everything worth it. And that time away is just like makes that. Yeah, I would rather not be away for that long, but it definitely makes up for that pain when I get home.
So how long? But you're touring. So like, Carbon Leaf's got a tour coming up in April. Is that the next tour? Mm-hmm. Looks like a month and a half kind of run.
So it won't be quite all at once. So usually we will, Barry and the booking agent will put it out like it's no more than like 2 weeks. So the one that we just did with the Rock Boat was a little longer than it normally would, because we're trying to condense some shows so there's not as much travel between shows, not much time, as much time that goes by. But because it's tough when I have to go back to Richmond and then fly home, and then, I have 2 shows, and I have a show in DC next weekend, so you have to fly back again. That's more expense on the band, and obviously more travel makes it more whatever. So you try to condense those things, so you do them all in one shot, and you basically, just makes it easier on everybody. But for me, since I'm the only one traveling like that, I usually have 2 additional days away from home than anyone else in the band has.
So that was my next line of question, because you're a New England guy, and they're based out of Virginia, right? Are they still based out of Virginia?
They are, yeah. They all live in Richmond, yeah.
So, and then you guys just made brilliant new album 2024. Was that your first album, Time as a Playground?
No, so I played on the EP Hunting Ground EP, which was part of the series called The Gathering, which there's supposed to be 4 of them. We've done 2 of them. Okay. And I don't know when the other 2 are coming out, so please don't ask.
Well, it's just, so what's it like having the drummer so far away? Like, how are you? Are they just sending you demos of the new songs you're writing?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because we'll send out ideas. Like Carter and Terry predominantly have a lot of the ideas for Carbon Leaf songs and the music that's behind the songs. Barry has, the band's been around for 34 years maybe, and they have a huge bank of demo recordings, or like little snippets of things, voice memos, things like that. And Barry has them all categorized and alphabetized and whatever. So he will go back and listen to those things, and whatever's kind of speaking to him, he will start to mess around with melodies and themes and stuff. And his writing is I look up to him as a songwriter a great deal, because he does so much. I don't research anything when I write a song. Like maybe if I need to look up a word, like a definition or something like that, but like he will go in depth and create a character and a whole world around it.
You can feel that even in the new album, right? The second song about 1983.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he's looping ideas that are happening, and he's talking about things that are in the near future.
The nostalgia of that time. And
great songwriter. It's a great album.
Yeah,
you should be really proud of the new album because that's a really great album too. It's gonna be fun to be like in a band that's still just kind of bringing like, not just kind of still firing on all cylinders, bringing really cool art into the world.
Yeah, and it was cool. It was really cool making it because we got to play a lot of those things live in the room, and I did a lot of vocal. I do a lot of the harmonies and stuff overdubbed from my place, so I got to do a lot of that and send things back and forth. And that's the nice thing with the technology now is you can do that and have it make sense and be meaningful, and you can make quick changes and things like that and kind of work constantly and
really cool.
keep on building on it, which is great.
So were you drumming? Did you go down to Richmond?
I played drums in Richmond. Yeah. So I have a really great drum kit, which was the kit that I got in 6th grade, which I still have to this day. It's an 80s Premier kit. And it's awesome. It sounds great, but it's so heavy, and I don't like to take it out on the road anymore because I have to carry it. And so
play with the drummer.
Yeah, exactly. So they help a bit, but it's a great kit, and that's the one I'm playing on that. Basically that entire record, and then obviously different songs have different snares and cymbals and stuff, but.
Well, it's a great record.
Thanks, man.
You guys should be really proud of that. I look forward to keep on having it be like, it's spring soon. Right now we're recording this like at the end of February.
Okay, yeah.
But it's like a great spring album.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what Carbon Leaf fan bases, because they've been around since like the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Like coming out of college band, having success in the mid 2000s there. Like was their fan bases open to all of a sudden having a new drummer? How welcoming have they been?
First of all, best fan base on the planet. It
seems like a really cool, like kind of small, but like really into it, very serious, loves the band.
Yeah, it's funny because at this level of band where it's not Taylor Swift, it's not like me, it's in the middle somewhere, and you can do so many cool things, and with how they built their career through when radio was important, they gained a big fan base that's countrywide, and we will have the same experience in Seattle as we do in Richmond, or in Boston as we do in like LA or San Francisco or something like that.
That's
so
really cool.
Yeah, it's great, and everywhere in between. Like Cleveland is a great city for us. Indianapolis is a great city. I'm going to get in the weeds and get in trouble for not mentioning a city, but like
all the cities,
they're all great. But like it's really cool to be able to do that and have a fan base stick with a band for that long. Because I think of myself and my own experience as a fan of a band. Like I was a huge 311 fan in high school. I would only listen to them, and then somewhere in there between the albums Evolver and whatever came next, Don't Tread on Me, I think was one of them. I just fell out of it. Like I just didn't enjoy it as much anymore. And I don't feel like Carbon Leaf has that same experience. I think they grew with their fan base at a really relative
base,
like at a really good pace. And I think they continue to do that really well, and it's very intentional.
Well, it's a mark of real art, right?
Yeah.
Not that 311 wasn't real art, but they were doing later. But I had a similar thing. My band in junior high, early high school was Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Followed them hardcore, and then all of a sudden, I don't really know what's happening with it. I know that Billy Corgan has a podcast now, right?
Yeah.
But wasn't loyal. But then there was bands like what's a band that I've been loyal to since then? Late high school, I got into Wilco, and I followed Wilco. I still follow Jeff Tweedy like pretty seriously.
I just read his book.
Yeah, it's a great book.
Yeah.
But like
How to Write One Song.
How to Write One Song. I just put that on my desk actually because I was cleaning my bedroom just 2 days ago. I just held that book in my hand.
There's a couple things in that book that I'm going to be trying.
I've done a couple of the things.
That's a couple of the exercises.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's
idea.
cool. It's very interesting. Yeah. I want to reread it just because I like to read things a couple times.
So Carbon Leaf, you've been in there for almost a decade now, like coming up on a decade.
It's crazy.
Which is really cool.
It's wild.
And it's so cool to have like something like in your pocket that's just so stable, fan base and stuff like that. But one of the things I love about not only are you recording your own songs, but you got your own podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Called After the Gig. So what was the start of that?
Start of that was 2019 in my my spare bedroom in my Newton Highlands apartment, where my wife and I lived. And I just always wanted to do it. I like to talk a lot, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like I have something to say.
Well, it's a great gig. It's a great podcast because I've been listening to it. So he interviews musicians, but Jesse's also talked a lot about like different venues if they're going through a struggle. You're also the reason why I listen to the Sucking on the Chili Dog thing over and over again.
It's a good one.
It's really good. I didn't know that existed. I'm like, okay.
It's good. I'm glad we're spreading cheer everywhere.
Yeah.
Making the world a better place, one chili dog at a time.
One chili dog. I had to show my guitar player that. I'm like, check this out. But any kind of like thing that's not just making musicians laugh, right? Because that's funny. But you're doing a great job of just bringing all sorts of different angles in and about your own life and stuff like that. It's a really cool community-based thing. How do you find people to talk to on the guests? Are the most people you know, or
most of the people I know? And the other reason why it became a thing is because I think that as a side musician or any musician in general that doesn't have ownership over their own career, really. I mean, like if you're playing for somebody, that person could pull the plug at any second. I just found it. I have kind of an entrepreneurial spirit, and I just found it to be very important to have ownership over something that I was doing that I could work towards and work on, while also creating this really great community behind music and a different connection between fans and musicians that they might not necessarily got before. I mean, I grew up loving to watch DVDs of like behind the scenes stuff before YouTube came out. I worked at Best Buy in high school. Excuse me. So like I could get the discount on all the newest anthologies and concert DVDs because I wanted to see like what the guys were playing, what their gear was, and all this stuff. And now it's become like, where did you come from? Like, what's your process like, and other things. And we like to have fun and add the comedy element to it when we can. So it's like that balance of it's not all just music. It's personal life.
It's personal life. It's also like making new connections, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's interesting, the idea of having just multiple safety nets and things like that.
Yeah, and you think, and it can lead to lots of other things and stuff, and it's been really, really great. Everybody that's supported it has continues to support it for a long time, even in times where I've had to take a break from it. It's hard to book people all the time, and especially if you want to get one out every single week, you have to deal with other people's schedules, and now it's trying to make it make sense.
You're on 140 episodes or something like that?
I just released the 145th today.
Yeah.
So, and that's the one that I just released today is the first ever live episode. So we did 2 sessions live on the Rock Boat. One of them features Scott Terry from Red Wanting Blue, Will Hogue, and the band Need to Breathe.
Yeah.
And the second one is with Barry of Carbon Leaf and with Eric Hutchinson.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's great. And it was awesome. Listening back to this first one, you could tell that I was nervous. It's like, oh, you're really doing too much. You're talking too loud. You're like, you're being too amplified, and you need to just settle down. And it's a learning process. Like I would like to do more live ones in front of an audience because I like that energy,
Yeah, well, it's so important. I love the idea. That's part of the reason why this is my 4th episode of this show.
Yeah.
And it's just the idea to talk to people, to open myself up to meeting new people, to new experiences, to get better. Like myself, when I was meeting you an hour ago, I'm like, okay, like you can feel my adrenaline pumping a little bit.
It's great.
And it's just great.
Yeah,
you just grow. Awesome, Jesse, man. This has been so much fun talking to you.
Yeah, dude.
I love learning more about this. So tell everyone how they can find you.
Yeah, so my podcast After the Gig is on, it's hosted on Substack, and it's kind of attached to a newsletter now. You can listen to the podcast anywhere.
Yep, I streamed it right on my phone.
Yeah.
Started the podcast app.
Yep, Apple, Spotify, whatever you like.
After the Gig.
Yep, and the newsletter, if you want it in your inbox, is afterthegig.substack.com. So, and that's the best spot.
And your own website?
My own website is jessehumphrey.com. There's nothing on it other than
No, it has your song. You can listen to Chemical.
there's a few things on it.
The
It needs to be
Carbon Leaf tour?
updated. It needs to be updated. Has dates and stuff, but if you want to come see me at a city near you, go to carbonleaf.com and grab tickets and a sweatshirt.
And you guys going to be in this area. In June, you're going to be in, I think, Natick.
Yeah,
And you're going to be in New Hampshire. So this podcast will be out by then. So
awesome.
make sure you check it out. Check out Carbon Leaf. Fantastic.
Those are some of our favorite shows. Like whenever we play Natick at Lookout Farm, it's usually the hottest day of the year. It just decides, Carbon Leaf's in Natick outside. We're going to make it the hottest day of the year. And also, we're going to make it windy. So, yeah, I got a brand new cymbal. I know you're trying to wrap it up. I got a brand new cymbal, and the wind knocked it off the stand and cracked it. Like 3 days after I got it.
Oh no!
I was so mad, but it still sounded great. You know,
Dave from the booth's laughing every day.
Yeah. He knows. I'm sure he witnessed
probably
it.
there.
Yeah, he was there.
All right, last question. The one question I like to ask everyone. This is for my own interest. This is the desert island question. You're on a desert island. You can have the full discographies of 5 acts.
5
acts.
Oh, this is good.
5 acts. The full discography.
I thought you were going to give
of
me
5
one.
acts.
I'm like, oh god.
No, 5.
Okay.
Who are you bringing to the desert island?
Oh my god. I'm gonna. I love the Beatles. I think there's so much to choose from there.
Beatles it's the obvious choice. Yeah.
Yeah, Beatles is one of them. I do love Tom Petty, so I'll bring Tom Petty. I will bring. Oh my god, this is so hard. 5. Chick Corea. I love Chick Corea. I love probably Miles Davis would be another one.
Yep.
And if it was someone more modern, D'Angelo.
D'Angelo, nice.
Yeah.
Nice list. That's a good list.
Yeah. Is that 5?
That's 5.
That's 5.
That's 5.
Yeah.
Jesse, man, thank you so much for being part of the show.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again for joining us on the Dan Cloutier community. I hope you were inspired by our conversation to make something new this week. Please put down your phone and get off your couch. The world will be a better place if we all make art together. Jesse Humphrey is a brilliant musician, and I encourage everyone to go to his website at jessehumphrey.com. There you can learn all about Carbon Leaf, his own song, and his fantastic podcast, After the Gig. His music is also streaming on all services, and the podcast is as well. This show is put on for free by me and HCAM, and we are going to do all we can to keep it that way. If you like what you heard and you want to support this mission, please just visit my website. My website is dancloutier.com, or you can find me on all streaming platforms and all that other stuff. Please reach out if you're ever interested in sponsoring part of the show or have any other interesting ideas. I'd love to hear from you. My latest album is called The Iceberg, and to end today's show, I'll be sharing a song from it called Synapses Fire. It's about those moments in life when art just sparks your mind, and I think after this conversation with Jesse, my mind is sparking, so hope you enjoy. All through the streets in London, a ghost was born. Spiders on my headphones. The queen was on her throne. It felt good to be alone before the killers were all put down. Synapses fire, synapses fire.
Synapses fire. Synapses fire. Synapses fire. Light up. Said light up the city sky. Well, through the streets in London, where all the bombs once fell, but it's real now. The Queen reflects a throne, we never are alone. All healers we reborn. Synapses fire, synapses fire. Synapses fire, synapses fire. Light up the city sky. Go! Thank you again, everyone. And let's build a community, everyone. None of us have real control. You can't just snap and make it go away.